Our relationship. Hi everyone. I will do my best to make this short. I'm a young man in my early 20s who met a wonderful girl 6 years ago. We got married 3 years after dating. She is 6 years older than me. We have no kids, although we were both planning on having some after we bought a house. 2 years down the road, our marriage started to fall flat. We started losing interest in each other and we both started to get more selfish in our own hobbies. We stopped putting each other's needs first. Eventually I stopped initiating date nights and she stopped sleeping with me. I became beta and she started falling out of love. We talked about this and decided to go ahead, try, and work it out. Then we bought a house. We got even busier with household chores and spent less and less time with each other. For the record, I actually did most of the cleaning and cooking around the place. Never complained either. I love cooking and I am kind of a neat freak. Anyways, then one day, 6 months after we bought the house, we got in an argument, over nothing really. And she randomly walks out and doesn't come back. She said she was going to stay at a friend's. She said she needed time to think and I respected her wishes. I found out about the primer and read it thoroughly. I realized a lot of mistakes I made during the relationship, but I also knew and still know I can fix this and change my poor behavior, as I have done successfully in the past. I took counseling, talked to a lot of people and started to work on myself. So far so good. Then she started sending me these long letters by email. She said all the things that made her unhappy in the relationship and I replied with my own thoughts. She said I never listened to her, I never remembered things and she didn't feel like she was part of my life. Typical stuff, and I admit to doing all of that, but still. I never understood why she was so sensitive about everything all of the time. And we never actually sat down for more than 15 minutes to try and work on our issues. It was like I was always fishing in the dark with her needs. I never understood them and so I was never able to act on them accordingly. We both took the relationship for granted. We both admitted to becoming roommates and we both admitted to being unhappy. Anyways, we agreed to write a separation agreement. I saw my lawyer, she saw hers, but I probed to meet her to get it signed and she just kept ignoring me. 2 months went by and this is where the pain really started. Things somewhat cooled off and she finally agreed to meet me for coffee. I learned to keep myself busy, not to be clingy, needy. She said she had 2 more letters to write me before meeting me. I said okay, no problem. In the first letter she revealed that she had a bad childhood, was exed by a boyfriend and ended up having an abortion. Yeah, wow. She said she never felt like she could trust me enough to tell me to my face. That hurt a lot. My poor baby. If only I knew, I would have known to be more sensitive. I said some really stupid crap and made some very bad jokes a long time ago. It sounds manipulative to say I wouldn't have said some things if I knew what she went through, but it's true. I'm a good person and always have thrived to be much more than who I am. I had no idea she had been through such horror and yet my life has been pretty much handed to me on a silver spoon. The next letter was one I wish she didn't send. She admitted to cheating on me, with a few guys too. What hurt the most was that she talked about how perfect they were. And these traits they had. Alpha traits. I get it now, but I am still devastated. I never thought she would cheat on me. Seriously. We even had a talk before we bought the house. I told her, if you fall out of love at me, please end it first before cheating on me. And she asked the same of me. To top it off, she is very religious, and so when she told me she cheated, it caught me by such complete surprise. That now, I feel like I am actually traumatized and will never get over this. Sure, I am a young guy and I'll make do in time, but nobody in my entire life has taken my trust. My unconditional, loving and true trust. And breached it, so selfishly. The whole 2 months she has been gone I have kept my ring on and been faithful. My heart's been broken a few times before, but not like this. I even told friends on several occasions that she would never do that to me. I thought she was much more than that. She said she didn't technically cheat because we wrote the separation agreement, but she never signed it. I feel walked on. Of course, all emotions ran through my system. Fear, anger, hatred. Man, I want to kill those guys. But even stronger was the sadness and confusion I felt. What the heck did those guys do to get her to open up like that? In 6 years, it was really a struggle with her to get her to open up and be intimate. And here I find out she did it effortlessly with a few dudes in a few weeks. I wish I knew their tricks. I wish I was them. I wish I was taller. I wish I wasn't such a nice guy, and so forth. It was and still is a huge blow to my self-esteem and self-worth. I talked to my best friend about it, and fortunately I have been very lucky to have a great support system at home. Despite my rage, I calmly collected myself and set out conditions to stay married, and she made her own conditions. Although I want to forgive her, I don't think I will ever be able to and also be able to fully trust her again. But I married her for better or worse, and I am not one to give up on anything. She has finally come back home and things seem to actually be going well. We are rebuilding the friendship, trust and praying together and communicating transparently when possible. We started doing more things together, laughing more and for the most part, up until tonight. I felt like if we just keep at it, just maybe things will get better. She came back on Saturday, and now it is Sunday, but towards the end of the night. I already feel like she isn't taking my conditions seriously. Although I am doing my best to meet hers, I feel like I am doing all of the work and she won't a finger unless she has to. It's all about her, it seems. She even had the balls to say she is scared that I might leave her down the road. Yet she is the one who left me. As you can see, many thoughts race through my mind, and although I know there are many fish in the sea, I love this woman dearly. What breaks my heart is that I fear that she is not giving me another chance. Not because she loves another, but because she doesn't love herself. And I am realizing there is nothing I can do to fix that. One of my conditions is that we start kissing again. I told her we will take our time, but tonight right before bed I went for a second kiss. And she rejected me. I just wanted a 2-second kiss. Nothing crazy. She says she is numb and doesn't feel anything. I don't know what to do. Our agreement was to try and fix this for the next 5 months, and if it doesn't work, we would complete the separation agreement and go for divorce. I want to seek counseling together, yet she is hesitant. I think with a little more ball I can make it happen. The questions I have for now are these. 1. Why do I feel like we shouldn't have to start over from scratch again? She says she wants to be friends again first. I feel like time is too precious. 2. Why am I the one who seems to be struggling to gain her trust, when she is the one who breached mine? How can I turn these tables around? I am doing my best to be more alpha, but I am really struggling. 3. Am I being a doormat here? How can I grow a pair? How can I take charge without being invasive? I find myself either tiptoeing or being too direct. She says she hates pressure. B. How can I make her take my conditions seriously? C. And if she doesn't want to, as displayed by her actions, is 5 more months of hell worth it? 4. Would you have taken back a cheater? 5. It's been over 3 months now that she says she is unsure of how she feels. I am pretty sure she knows but doesn't have the balls to tell me. What can I say or do to get her to be honest with me? 6. What would you do in my situation? I don't know if she came back because she wants to work at it, or because her friend isn't letting her stay at her place anymore. I feel like I am in a dark tunnel and she has the flashlight, but she won't give it to me. This is hands down the most difficult thing I have ever went through in my life. I know there is a long road ahead. I appreciate all feedback, comments. She has been dating and having been sleeping with other men because she is no longer in the marriage. She has friend-zoned you and will not kiss you, much less have sleep with you, because she has found another man that she is trying to be loyal to. You are nothing more to her than the perfect roommate that does all the cooking and cleaning while also helping pay the bills. You cannot make this marriage work alone. It takes 2 to make a marriage, and she has moved on. She is a selfish, unremorseful, cake-eating cheater. You are in love with the memory of her, but that person is no longer there. Please move on and do not look back. With no children, it will never be a better time to end this marriage and move on. But whatever, stop letting her blame you for her cheating. Cheaters always set a standard of perfection for their spouse that they do not apply to themselves. They do this because as a human they know that you cannot be perfect, thus they will always have an excuse for why it is your fault. Flip their own standard and apply it to them, and you will see that they will fail far more than you did, because the truth is you have been the better spouse. Bottom line is that there is nothing that you could have done to stop her from cheating because she wanted to cheat. She is not good wife material. Move and find someone that is. There is someone out there that would thank God every day for having made you their husband. The sooner that you start looking for this person, the sooner that you will find them. Good luck and be well. OP responds, you guys are right, but don't people fall in love again? Am I being delusional in thinking this will happen again one day? Once her love for me is gone, is it gone forever? I certainly agree I can do better. I just don't know why part of me wants to be with her. Maybe I feel bad. I don't know. Why am I such a forgiving person? I sincerely believe people make mistakes. Is polyamory a real thing? I have started formulating the divorce papers and separation agreement. We live in Canada, and we have to be separated for a year before being able to divorce. I guess my only other question is, let's say we did try to fix things. Would you expect your so to open up immediately, or do you think things should move slow? I highly doubt either is going to happen. For one though, she was staying at her girlfriend's. I know this because I found out where she lived and checked on her to make sure. She has told me that the other guys aren't interested in dating her. Although yes, I know I can't trust her anymore. I do know she had a dark past, something else I confirmed behind her back. For 2, define walking all over someone and conditioning. I have never been a yes dear, sorry dear, okay dear type of guy. I've said no many times to many things, but I do admit to rewarding bad behavior in the past and failing many fitness tests. I stopped initiating date nights. I stopped hanging out with her and having her part of my life. We literally became roommates because it was just the default setting. Most of the years I hung out with my friends on the weekend and not her. She always went to bed early and, to be honest, was kind of boring. She changed after we got married. She wasn't always dull. We became more and more separate with our lives until she actually started sleeping in the guest bedroom. But I didn't mind at the time, because well, she snored loudly and I worked a different shift and that allowed better sleep. Thirdly, I highly doubt we will sleep together again. Lol. Fourthly, in the whole 6 years I have only ever felt disrespected once or twice. The first time was going she started withholding getting physical and I had to barter for it. After all, it's her body, not mine. Whenever she said she didn't want to, I respected her. You make it sound like bedroom time is a sacred right in marriage or I could force her to do it. Fact is, she would have slept without hesitation with me when she didn't feel like it. But she would just lay there. One day I told her straight up, I don't want to have sleep with you if you are not in the mood. And since, she has never been in the mood. Fifthly, I am a pretty chill guy. I am fluid. You say I was a doormat. How? I don't get it. Because I don't have a temper. Because I come from a family that taught me unconditional love, whereas she was raised in a foster home. I dug my own grave, guys, I admit it, but at the same time, I was also just being myself, something I foolishly thought she accepted. Lastly, it also doesn't help how I was raised at home. My mom wore the pants in the relationship. I grew up believing that that was normal. So obviously I was passive in my relationship for a long time, because I was used to the woman making the moves. This is my first and last marriage. While every day I learn more mistakes I've made, I am almost still blinded by love. Appointment with the lawyer is tomorrow. I am taking initiative, guys. A day later, I came home today to find her stuff all gone. It's officially over. I'm free. I will never take her back too. She has a few things left to move. I took the liberty of packaging all of her crap for her. I told her this morning that make-up bedroom time was a condition of her coming back. I guess I got my answer. I'm sad, but very happy. A weight has been lifted. I refuse to go another day without my needs being considered. It's been a hard-to-face truth that nice guys do indeed finish last, but even harder to admit that there were childhood reasons that caused me to seek approval in her. And in women in general. I will never take her back, and I have learned a lot from this experience. I also said some extremely harsh things to level the playing field and ensure that it won't happen. Lol. Duck her. Not only did I expose the whole world to her cheating ways, I took the liberty of packing all of her crap, taking away all of our pictures of us from her photo albums, canceling her phone bill that was under my work plan, and also telling off her friends who knew she was cheating. Call me useless, but I accept the fact that I am now without hesitation. No more Mr. Nice Guy. I have always known what I want but have settled for less due to fear. I will never compromise my standards again. Reading and getting in shape is making a difference. It's changing my life. You bet I will never take her back. No kids. Phew. It's just sad her dad and I get along very well. She thinks I turned him against her, but I simply told him the truth because I think family deserves to know, even extended family. 3 months later, 2 months go by and then she went on a trip to New York. I stayed faithful thinking she really did just need space and then we would do counseling together as planned. But then she wrote me a series of emails revealing she has been cheating on me for some time and was very unhappy. It has taken me a long time to accept the hard reality that our marriage was not working out, and even longer to accept my mistakes in the relationship. I was scared and totally let her walk all over me many times. I was completely heartbroken. No one has ever cheated on me. It's quite painful and has been a detriment to my self-worth. After a few vacations, taking counseling from my friends and family, reading and taking a relationship course, I am starting to do much better. The house is in both of our names and it looks like she is going to be civil with the divorce. She has more to lose than I do. Lol. I can cover the house bills alone, but I found a renter to help out with my debt load. I checked with my lawyer and any income I make after the separation date is all mine. So I am in the clear there. We both don't want to sell the house to each other, so in 3 years' time when our mortgage is up, we will just sell it to strangers and just move on. Although I would fight to keep it because it has the biggest backyard I have ever seen. I don't want to go to court and pay unnecessary costs. Plus, now that I won't be raising a family right away, it makes sense to move into a smaller place with smaller bills and less yard work to occupy my time. She is paying the mortgage and her rent elsewhere. I know she can't afford it unless she finds a renter where she lives now. She's basically paying rent and house sitting for a friend who is in a different province. Eventually she will either have to move back in, go homeless, stay at a hostel, or stop paying the mortgage to keep living elsewhere, and then I could take full possession. If she moved back in, I would not take her back as her husband or lover ever again. Her problem, her loss. So that's the situation. I am facing 2 problems these days. 1, she keeps wanting to be friends and I am really struggling with this. I am past the stage where I can't be in her presence without getting emotional. My thoughts are simply, what the hell is the point though? We don't have kids but we have a house together. But even then, she's moved all her mail to her new place and she doesn't stop by often anymore. I don't feel glued to her anymore. I feel like part of her secretly hopes to get back together, and that is why she wants to stay friends. That, or she thinks I will cave and feel bad for her and let her take the house or something like that. So, my question goes primarily to males in the same boat. Would you still be friends with your ex if you didn't have to? 2. I am having a lot of trouble figuring out what I want in women apart from sleeping together. And maybe just a chill white girl to watch some Netflix with here and there. I know nobody can tell me what I want, but I seem to be stuck in this careless phase and I want it all. Anybody else go through this before? I'd like another monogamous relationship and I'd like kids before I am 30. Although I am smart enough to know I should not jump into something so soon and take such risks. I have taken counseling. I am fit, take care of myself, dress well and keep myself busy. I have no problem getting numbers or going on dates or facing rejection. My question is this, and anyone can answer it. Despite putting my passions in life first and despite meeting women and having the best physical life I have had in a long time, why do I feel like I am still attracted to every woman I see? Is this ever going to go away? Why do I feel like I won't be happy until I am in a monogamous relationship again? Is serial monogamy a real thing? Honestly, I'd like to remain friends with her. Not because I still love her or hope we could revive the relationship. No way. Not interested. I'm over it and I have moved on. I will never take her back nor have sleep with her. I just don't have any women friends. Not a single one. It's been kind of nice to talk to her about other girls I have since dated and her thoughts, and same vice versa. We both seem to be over each other and have moved on with our lives. And there's no way I am talking to my mom about my desires. Lol. A month later, she is living elsewhere, but she continues to pay for the mortgage. I know for a fact she can't afford it. I'm guessing she is paying her rent with debt. I can tell she has not gotten a second job unless the pay is in cash and not direct deposit. She is being stubborn and doesn't want to let go of the house. I've already petitioned for court for a divorce, although my lawyer said we will most likely not go in front of a judge. I've created a new bank and transferred all my bills that come out automatically. I'm about to transfer my pay deposit. My plan is that each paycheck I only put it in what is necessary to cover the mortgage and property tax. Currently my pay goes into the same joint account and I move out what I need. In a way it's the same, but lately I've noticed she's spending some of my money. I need to put a stop to that, even if it hurts her. I have no choice. I'm managing okay as I found a renter to cover the financial loss. Half a year later, during this time, I spent over $3,000 and pretty much all of my time during the summer doing landscaping in the backyard. It was really fun and a great learning experience. Then I find out she spent $17,000 on my emergency line of credit. I stopped the account and now as part of the agreement, my check that I will write her will go to pay down that account. Instead of a do-it-yourself divorce like she suggested, I got my own lawyer and he drafted an agreement up. It is extremely fair. Cost me about $25, but he is amazing. Fast forward to recently. We met and talked about the agreement. She agreed. She said she quit her job and is moving out of province in 2 weeks. I worry a lot for her. She seems to be sabotaging her life. I had a couple panic attacks shortly after and I ended up texting her some sappy emotional garbage and since then she has stopped replying to me. I don't blame her, despite the fact that I have taken lots of therapy, meditation courses and other training. She still obviously has many grudges against me. She has not forgiven me and probably never will. Whatever, I have come to accept, as my friends and family have told me many times, that she is a broken individual with narcissistic and parasitic tendencies. Fast forward to now. She already agreed to give me the house. I never supported her in the marriage and we have no kids. My offer is simple. I write a check that covers her original down payment, legal fees and equity. It goes to the lawyer into a trust, and when she signs over the land title, she gets the money deposited. We've already split our personal belongings. We aren't going after each other's investments and pensions. I've checked all the legal implications of her moving out of province, and if she does, because she never filed a defense to my petition for divorce, I technically don't even have to write her a check. It defaults to me. The problem is that I don't know her new address and she will not tell me. I don't know what to do there, but I am not really worried. My life is great. I've met so many beautiful people since. I have next to no regrets, but lately, a combination of my basement flooding and her unwillingness to finish what she started has made me very emotional and stressed. I guess I am not looking for guidelines or advice, but maybe things I could try to at least get her to be cooperative. As it is presently, I said my last words and that's it. Only other stuff to communicate is in relation to legal stuff and that can get done through our lawyers. I await an email from her around May with what she might agree to, but at the end of the day, I have nothing more to say. She will try, I am sure, to say cruel things to tempt me, but now that I have said it all in my most clear-minded and loving state, my intent will not be shattered. I absolutely hate ending relationships on bad notes, like most people. When I do, that's when I get depressed and feel drained. I noticed lately I am doing much better, and I attribute it 100% to that last email, which I ended it on a very mature and positive note. I have no regrets and now I am free. I am 100% accountable for my thoughts and feelings. I get upset when I realize I was the one who was a fool. Not this time. I'm not one to ignore people, no matter what. I can't stand people who do that. It's a pet peeve of mine, even a hobo. I'll tell him, no, I do not want to give you change. Have some balls and respond. Unless it's a stalker or some weirdo or something, then yeah, ignore away. But yeah, I can't stand people who ignore children, you see, and the reality is we are all still children, but in our adult form. Almost a year later, the first few months after DD were very difficult, but after a lot of meditation, self-help, therapy, etc., I am feeling better and stronger than ever. I have learned a lot and I am thankful for everything. I started dating again several months ago. I'm not one of those guys who asks for girls' numbers based on looks. I tried in the past and that never got me anywhere except a one-time thing. And I am not interested in that or a friend with benefits at this point in my life. For me, it's always been about the flow of conversation, the genuine smile, and if there was an actual emotional connection. One of my really good friends the other day told me something. She said that if a girl really likes you, she will come up to you. Never in my life has this happened though, so I was wondering if someone could back it up or have a discussion on it. I take care of myself, exercise, have a great career, sense of humor, and all that jazz, and I've been told by many women I look good. But as far as I can tell, I feel as if it's my height 5 feet 5. That is solely responsible. It's been the number one factor in all my rejections. Women have outright told me this. My ex-wife really crushed my self-worth when she left last year. She went out of her way to write a 12-page letter explaining every single thing she disliked about me. When I showed this to my friends, they called it all bullcrap, but still, those words linger in my head. Sometimes I think I am unapproachable or really just out of luck. I trust the universe and what it will bring, but yeah, after hanging out with some other guys and seeing the way girls look at them, I just doubt I'll ever get that. By the way, a couple months ago I sat down with a friend and we devised an email to send to ex-wife, clarifying the initial deal. It was just a very brief explanation of how things will turn out, basically stating that I am getting the house and I need her to sign the paper. Of course, not only has she refused to sign the paper, like she did in person, she stopped replying to me. I don't blame her. I got a little crazy near the end, but in my email I wrote with my friend it was as non-emotional as possible. Very brief. Anyways, what would you do in a case like this? Legally, the house will be mine by default, and I have no requirement to pay her the 13 Kelvin. So do I do just that? My lawyer has pretty much said that if she doesn't answer, she doesn't get squat. I haven't emailed her since. I don't see the point anymore, and I am sure she just wants to be left alone, although she totally abandoned her families and is also being quite rude with her lack of response. It's been a good year since she left. Emotionally, I was a wreck until a few months ago. Doing really good, but I can't say there has not been a single day that has gone by where I did not think of her. So yeah, good guy, bad guy, middle guy. What to do? Most guys get brutalized in a divorce. Yet I seem to have come out on top. Not only do I not have the 13K to pay her, but I am also no longer morally obligated and a little frustrated with her. Personally, I feel like I want to rob her of everything and not give her a penny. But I don't want to because that negative attitude will make me feel worse later. All I know is this. She lived with me only 3 months in the house and there were a ton of repairs I had to do, spent well over 3 Kelvin. This was our first house. Alone and separate. So there were also a ton of responsibilities I had to learn and take. When she left, I had to find extra income to cover her half of the mortgage payment and the other expenses she used to pay. I had trouble finding renters, and when I did, a couple of them were really bad and had to get kicked out. So, it's been a nightmare. Plus, I had to pay all of the legal fees, over 3 Kelvin again, take time off of my job to fill the paperwork out, and frankly I feel like she should pay me 13 Kelvin. I have to talk to my lawyer, but honestly my goal is just get this done as soon as possible. I don't really care if I get ripped off, but it won't happen as my mother is quite pushy. I just want this done and over with. This life is rough. A summary of what happened after divorce. Nearly $5,000 later, the divorce is nearly complete. I am completely broke, borrowing money from my parents and barely making it paycheck to paycheck. Haven't heard from the ex-wife in 2 years. House defaults to me, but what difference does it make? House gets appraised and is worth over $40,000 less because the market went down. Great. Found another renter, this time it's a friend. Officially gave up on randoms. He says he likes to play music with his band and asks if he can play in my basement if he lives with me. I say sure. Moves in. Turns out to jamming every day, cramping my space. Not cleaning. He's young, so I expected some adaptation, but not this much. I lay down the law and so far, things seem to be okay. But I got really mad after I came home one day and all my guitars were out of tune, and basically all my crap was touched without my permission. Not happy. And he doesn't clean his hair every morning from the sink. Tired of cleaning up after him. Spent countless hours with my friend destroying the deck so we can access the window. Replacing the window frame, reinstalling a new window. Grading the entire backyard, installing a window well and waterproofing it. $5,000 later, few days later we get a flash storm. Basement is flooded. Now it's for sure the foundation. On the side that it floods is the zero lot line. There's not even enough room to have a bobcat come and dig up the foundation to skin it and fix the crack. Only other option is to sell the place, take a loss, or install a sump pit and pump and keep working on renovations and living on scraps. I have no idea what to do with the house as it looks like the flooding will continue forever. Cleaning my desk and playing guitar, looks for lyrics. I stumble upon her old letter. Didn't take long to start crying again. I miss her so much. I loved her a lot. She has no idea how much I feel. Dating life is crap. Constantly rejected for the most superficial crap ever. Finally meet a nice girl. As I lay and cuddle with her, it just wasn't the same. I just knew I wasn't ready for another love. I won't be ready for years it seems, but at least I accept reality now. At least my life is moving forward. I actually have relationship boundaries now. I never did, and I know for a fact I am worth a lot more than my ex-wife projected. Could be worse, I guess. Exhausted from all the house repairs and renovations. I have no life. My computer had crashed last year and I lost all the photos of her and it's literally like there's a hole in the timeline of my life. All the best times I had with her, gone. The past 2 years have been hell. I've taken intensive therapy to learn and grow from my mistakes. Got back into exercising, dancing and kept myself busy. Met a ton of amazing people, and if it weren't for the divorce, I wouldn't have learned so much about myself and about women. I know everything's going to be okay, but just because of how everything ended, I feel so unheard. I never got proper closure. A month later, I had to find out my ex's new address from my lawyer. I am still on good terms with her side of the family, so I asked them. Found out she's living in a small crappy town and that where she told me she would be was either a lie or things have changed since then. That's okay. Her life, her will. We, myself, my family and her family, all know that she has abandonment issues, but I am seriously struggling to understand the logic behind all of this. Because she is a supposedly smart and rational woman. I am having a hard time accepting that I probably won't ever understand, and my analytical mind just thinks this is all stupid and ridiculous. I know I really should just let it go, but I am having a hard time. I still love her and care about her. I miss her every day despite all the crap she put me through. It haunts me to witness her self-destruction, and while it might be arrogant for me to assume that it is indeed self-destruction, all of us, families, admit seeing it too. Her family has given up on her and so has mine. I haven't, although I probably should, but I am struggling. I don't ever want to get back with her, based on how she treated me, but I still hope she is okay and successful in whatever she does. She quit a really good job with many shares in the company. She quit her university classes halfway through them. She walked away from the house worth over $300K and as well her $8,000 down payment into it. She walked away from her church and she walked away from people who cared about her. She racked up over $40,000 in debt while we were together. And so wherever she is, she definitely needs a job that can help pay her bills. But I know for a fact in that small town there is nothing except a couple inns or maybe a fast food joint. Maybe she found a sugar daddy. She must have. I don't know. I know I shouldn't care about her problems anymore. Obviously, she's trying to get away from me, but I was never that bad. So why all the 360s? I just feel like she is running from something else too. Although I recently got her contact info, I haven't messaged her. I haven't emailed or texted or called her in well over a year. Zero communication. Up until recently she was practically non-existent. It's clear she wants nothing to do with me, so I'll give her just that. I also don't think there is any point in talking to her. She has a skewed view of me and anything I say will be a waste of time. I guess it's half rant too. We all deserve to be happy in whatever ways we can be, and I respect that. But at the same token, how do you cope knowing someone you love is constantly avoiding responsibility and hurting themselves? Is there anything I can do, even anonymously? I've been doing pretty good, but about a month ago I started crying again every morning. She's been in my dreams again. I see her. She's right there. And then I wake up and she's gone. I do not believe she is capable of conducting her own life. Lol. I hope it does work out for her, but I can't help what I see coming. She's insane and I wish I could warn the other guy, frankly, if there is another guy. She's a train wreck and frankly, like an addict, must be intervened. I just can't help thinking sometimes that it might be necessary for her to truly heal. And not be with me, but heal for herself. Her own family recently told her how flaky she is. and how at her grandma's funeral she was super pissed off she didn't inherit anything. Apparently, she thought she'd be set, and her uncle surmised that is why she left me. It all makes sense now. At least I understand. It just pisses me off that there is nothing I can do to show or tell her that she is wrong. It's not that I am still in denial or anything. It's that I feel like I've had to bear all the pain and consequences and she's off chilling in La La Land. Not cool. I am all for equality, if you know what I mean. Some days I feel like Darth Vader. If I can't have her, nobody can. Yes, that is not love. I agree. Most days I just hope she is okay. I still love her and wish her the best, but when I said I look forward to the day she comes at my door, I mean I look forward to the day she accepts her own mistakes. I hope that happens. I was a little angry there. Lol. I felt really angry that she would lie to me about where she stayed. I know it might be hard to believe me based on all the garbage I've spewed on here over the years. But I am not a bad guy, and I know that. My friends and family know it. I just wish she knew it. When I married her, she was like the kindest, most religious person ever. It really amazes me that she would even lie and turn into what she is now. The entire relationship was so confusing. It's really hard for me to tell what went wrong. I have very few reference points, if any. It truly was all magical, and one day it all went to hell. Nothing makes sense. I've dissected every scenario possible and benchmarked it with family, friends, and even strangers. Everybody agrees she is ducked up and needs help. Some say women plan things ahead of time and men are slow. I agree, but she is not a woman. She is just a frightened little girl, as I am just a lonely little boy. There is no doubt about it. Whoever she is with now, if any, will eventually bail on her. I took a lot of crap from her that now I realize I shouldn't have taken at all. For instance, one time she freaked out on me in public because I picked up the wrong water bottle. She yelled at the top of her lungs and called me so many mean things. That was when I should have divorced her, but I was scared. So, I've come a long way, I'd like to think. I truly feel that she is my soulmate. Maybe not in this lifetime, I guess. We used to laugh and giggle and have so much fun like children. It just boggles my mind that this all happened so fast. I know it takes two to tango, but you know, I can't help but blame myself for all of this because it really is mostly my fault. If I was more of a man, I wouldn't be here right now. I really do believe she did the right thing in the end, and that's what makes it so hard. I've been in denial for a long time. Quick update, 2 months later, divorce worked out for me. I ended up with a house I would have never been able to afford alone, and I didn't have to pay her a single penny in the end. Heartbreak aside, it also improved my relationships with everyone else. My communication skills, dating skills, set goals, and just a greater love for self overall. Almost 1 year later, my girlfriend of 6 months just told me she's pregnant. I know it's mine, but I am getting it confirmed next week. She is an excellent woman, and I am sure we'll raise a healthy, loving child together. But here lies my stress. 1. I'm 27 and she'd 40. Not sure what issues we'll face. I honestly didn't think it could happen. I used to be very reckless and simply thought my swim couldn't swim. I'm not ready to be a dad, but I could do it. I am more depressed than excited. Our relationship is good for the most part. 2. I got divorced 2 years ago. She wants to get married so I can use my work benefits on her and the kid. That sounds fair, but I don't want to get married again. She'd sign a prenup if necessary, and we could just skip the ceremony. All seems plausible in theory, but the thought of having dependents bothers me, and I said I would be there for her. So now I have to either back down on my word or man up. I am a pretty selfish guy, but maybe this is an opportunity for me to grow. 3. My family is furious. They think she is just a random woman, and that makes me mad. Makes it tough to communicate with them. When my ex-wife left 2 years ago, I kept the house. I am nearly done with the renovations and plan to sell it. They've been helping me out with the renovation costs, but I will pay them back in full when I sell the house. I was planning to downsize anyways, but my biggest issue is talking to my parents. All they want me to do is leave and get out ASAP. Probably the most hurtful thing was when my sister found out today and said this. I hope this woman didn't have the baby. I just don't know how to deal with this sort of negativity. I want nothing to do with my old family when they act like this. I am so bombarded with hate that I am having trouble making up my mind if I should stay or go. At this point I feel powerless and almost careless. It's just life, isn't it? I also feel like this situation will split up my family, and I don't want that. And lastly, their perspective of the world is narrow, cold, and unbending. They still do not accept my worldviews. Every day I get closer to leaning towards the option of living alone but raising the kid with her. Every odd day, week, or however we work it out, I refuse to get the government involved and have them make me pay child support. And if I decide in time to live with her, she's already agreed to sign a legally binding document so that she couldn't leave with half of my crap after 6 months or something. That's what makes me think I am not suitable to be a parent. I am young, naive, and I am quite a cruel person. I am a nihilist who does not support humanity as a whole, so believe me, I am trying really hard to find that silver lining here. You guys like that final ending of this long marriage story? What advice you have for this OP? My comment down below, sub and bell. Let me take a quick break and start preparing for the next stories.